Hey everyone, this is Kate, and I promised you that I would do an AFT. Whoops, we just don't need all that light. It gets the light shines all the way through here. So, before I start, I just want to explain to you, if you're not familiar with AFT, it's called Aroma Freedom Technique. This technique is used to really help you achieve your goals by letting go of past memories that are actually stopping you from achieving what you really want to achieve. I'm just going to adjust that just a wee bit more. It doesn't want to do that. Never mind. It's very powerful, and the oils that you're going to need to do this is a memory release blend, which is stress away, lavender, and frankincense. And then you'll need inner child, release, and one of these, transformation, believe, or citrus fresh. You should have most of those in your kit, if in your beginning kit. If you don't have inner child or release, that's perfectly okay. We can keep using the memory release blend, or feel free to grab an oil that you are attracted to. Sometimes our own intuition tells us what we are attracted to and what feels good to us. Spiritual oils are like frankincense, and frankincense could be an oil that you want to use on its own if you feel led to do that. I also want to say, if you're using this and you're new to our group and don't have a kit yet, you can do this without oils. It's not, I would say it's not quite as powerful, but you will still get the desired effect by closing your eyes, and instead of breathing in the oils, you can actually just really concentrate on love and light coming into the situation or the memory that you've had. I love to do that sometimes, even while I'm breathing in the oil, because of the simple reason love is the key to everything. And love comes from not only from within us in the spirit, but it comes from above. It comes from our God, who for me, that is God, Jesus, Holy Spirit, and whatever you believe in spiritually is going to work for you. So we are going to get started, and you can pause this at any time that you want to. If you need to take a moment more and breathe into everything, I will try to give you pauses here and let you have time, but also you can pause it and have as much time as you want. You can go back through this anytime you want to. I highly recommend that you do this often. Once you've done this and seen the sort of breakthrough that you can have, you will be amazed at how doing this technique can absolutely change your life. I am here too personally. If you want to do a personal session with me, you can always ask. You can always PM me and ask, and I will set up a time for us to do a personal one-on-one session. When we do a personal one-on-one session, I'm probably adding in a little bit more life coaching along the way there. So, and I will tell you that I do adapt this to what feels right to me. So before we get started, I'd like to remind you that this session, well, no, we don't have to do that because we're not recording it. I'm recording this. But Aroma Freedom is a step-by-step process for identifying and releasing negative thoughts, feelings, and memories that interfere with reaching our goals and dreams. Aroma Freedom Technique is meant to be used in a way to set a person's emotional energy flowing in a positive direction towards growth and expansion, rather than contracting in fear, doubt, and paralysis. It uses young living essential oils to trigger a permanent shift in how we view ourselves and the world. I am not a therapist or counselor, but I'm going to walk you through this process. So there is no need to share your memories. If you're doing this with another person in the room, you don't need to share your memories. Aroma Freedom Technique, I think, is more effective when you keep those to yourself and stay in internal space. Also, when I ask the question, or I ask you a question, tell me the first thing that comes to your mind. Don't overthink this. Your brain knows what the block is, what the memory is that you need to be having. So have that. And I'm very sorry if my dogs are whining in the background. So I'm going to confirm your oils. And if you don't have them, pause it here and go get your oils. Memory release blend, which is stress away, lavender, and frankincense. Inner child, if you have that. Release, if you have that. Transformation, believe, or citrus fresh. Now you may have an oil like into the future, or forgiveness, or highest potential. You may have one of those oils. Grab one of those. If you've got one of the, what I call the motivational oils, the emotional oils, the things that are meant to abundance even, grab those, because if you feel led, you can use those at this point. So now we're going to start this. So our first step is, I want you to think of a goal or something in your life that you would really like to achieve, but you're not really sure how that can happen. It can be a business, personal, relationship, or a wellness goal. It could be specific, such as exercising more, or a broader goal, such as how you want to feel about yourself or your life. Focus on where you want to go, not where you've been. So put your focus in the future to something that you really want to have, or you choose to have, I should say. I'm trying to get rid of the wants, because want infers lack, but choosing to do something does not. So I want you to state a goal here in your own words, and I want you to write this down. So I want you to really ask yourself, what does this look like? What does it feel like? And how is the lack of that showing up in your life? There's some questions. I also would like you to put the goal in the future, like, for example, I have achieved financial freedom by October 2020. That may not be your goal, but that's an example. So we're actually making a statement that says this has already happened, and we have a time frame in there. So now I want you to write that goal, and I'm going to give you a few seconds to do that. If you need more time, please stop the tape here and come back to it. So now you've got your goal. You're going to read that goal out loud and rate it, like how you really feel that that could happen in your life. So meaning how true it feels on a scale of 0 to 10, with 0 being totally hopeless and 10 being totally confident. Take as much time as you like here, but I will tell you that your goal, if your goal is like at a 6 or a 7, you need to go back and rethink it and make sure that this goal is something that you really want, but you don't think that you can achieve that in either the time frame or it's a really big goal. But I want you to reach for the stars here. And if you're struggling to rate it at all, read your goal again, and this time don't think, just feel. Take the first number that pops into your head on a scale of 0 to 10. So if it's 6 or higher again, remember, you've already got that one. You need to have a look, pause the tape, and rethink your goal. Step 2. What does the inner or negative voice tell you that this isn't possible? I don't want to put any words in your mouth whatsoever, but it'll be a voice that says you're not good enough, you won't or you can't, you don't have enough time. But what is that negative voice? And I want you to write that down. Don't overthink. How do you feel when you hear this voice? What's that one word feeling? A feeling is sad, doubtful, hopeless. That's the sort of feeling. Now, where do you feel that in your body? Don't overthink it. So now I want you to close your eyes and drift back to an earlier time when you felt the same way, where you had this feeling in the same part of your body and you had felt either angry or sad or helpless. And it could be in your stomach, it could be in your toes, it could be in your shoulders, and it could be recently or long ago. Go with the first memory that comes to your mind. Even if you have no idea why that memory is happening. Could be a snapshot or a series of memories. When you've finished, you can either write it down or just remember it. Take as much time as you need. If you don't have an image and it's just a memory, that's perfectly okay. Sometimes we have words that are a memory, and that's perfectly okay. You do not have to have a flash or an image. Now, I want you to get 1 drop of stress away, 1 drop of lavender, and 1 drop of frankincense in the palm of your hand, and I want you to rub your hands together clockwise. And then cup your hands over your mouth and close your eyes and connect with that feeling in that part of your body with that memory and breathe the oils into that memory. Notice what happens to the memory. May fade, break apart, or get further away. If the feeling intensifies, just let it wash through you. Feelings are like waves, and no wave lasts forever. Breathe into your oil. Take as long as you need. Notice what's happening in your body. And when you feel like something's shifted and it's gone as far as it can go, lower your hands, but take as much time. Pause the tape if you need to at this point. Then take a note, write down, what did you notice? So now we're going to state that original goal that you wrote down in the first place, and we're going to state it aloud again. Now I want you to rate this again on how possible it feels on a scale of 0 to 10. Totally hopeless is a 0, totally confident is a 10. If you're struggling with that number, read your goal again and don't think, just feel. Take the first number that comes into your head of how likely it feels that this will happen. Now, what's your inner voice telling you now? Are there any negative voices? Write down what the negative voice is saying. How do you feel when you hear this voice? What is a one-word feeling? Angry, frustrated, sad, happy? You may have had a breakthrough. And where do you feel that feeling in your body? Don't think about it. You'll feel it. Write that all down. Now, close your eyes again and drift back to an earlier time when you felt exactly the same emotion in that part of your body. Drift back to this time, it could be recently or long ago, and go with the very first memory that comes to mind, even if you're not sure why that memory is appearing. It could be a snapshot, series of memories, or a movie, or it could be no picture at all, just words and a memory. Write down what it was. Now, if you have inner child here, or release, but if you have inner child, I'd prefer that you use that at this point. If not, if you don't have the other oils, then go back to your memory release blend, which is lavender, stress away, and frankincense, 1 drop of each. Smell, close your eyes, and connect with that feeling in that part of your body and breathe the oils into the memory. If you do not have oils, just breathe in slowly and breathe out slowly and put love and light. Pour all of the love that you have and the love that you know, spiritual love, into that place. Notice what happens to the memory or image. It may fade, break apart, or get further away. If the feeling intensifies, just let it wash through you. Feelings are like waves. No wave lasts forever. Notice what happens in your body. And when you feel something has shifted and it's gone as far as it's going to go, lower your hands. Take your time. What do you notice? Also notice any new mindsets or beliefs that are emerging. Through smelling the oils, this is what happens to shift some of those memories and starts to give you hopeful memories. Notice any new attitudes or creative ideas that are starting to come up that relates to your goal. Now state your original goal aloud and rate how possible it still now feels on a scale of 0 to 10. 0 being hopeless and 10 being totally confident. Take the first number that comes, and also understand that sometimes, especially on the second round, your number may go down. That just means, hey, wow, you've really honed in on a place that you need to work on. So don't feel like it's not good if your number goes down. Your brain is saying, no, I need to work on this more. I need to focus on this and get this block that's been stopping you from going. So don't feel like going down in a number. Going to a lower number is a bad thing. It isn't. It just means you're working on it. So I want you to rate it and then listen to what is that inner voice saying to you now. Is it a negative voice still, or is it a positive voice now? How do you feel when you hear this voice? What's a one-word feeling? And at this point, you may be going with, I feel happy, hopeful. It may have changed. And if it hasn't, write down how you're still feeling. If it's angry, if it's frustrated, if it's sad. And where do you feel this emotion in your body? Close your eyes and drift back to an earlier time when you felt the same way, same feeling in that part of your body. Now, if this is a happy thing, concentrate on the happy thing. And this will even make it more powerful to build on that new positive creative experience. This memory could be recent or long ago, but go with the very first memory that comes to mind, even if you've got no idea why that memory is appearing. Could be a snapshot or a series of memories like a movie. When you've got that memory, if you've got release, I want you to use release at this point. Or if you feel drawn to use another oil, if you've got highest potential or any oil really, if you're feeling led to that oil, really an oil is going to help you here. So just grab one. If not, you don't have an oil, then I want you to put love and light into this memory. Put the oil on your hand, clockwise. Breathe into the oil. Notice what happens to the memory or image. Notice what's happening in your body. Something shifted and it's gone as far as it's going to go, you can lower your hands. But please take as much time. Pause this if you need to. At this point, I want you to notice if there's any new mindsets or beliefs that are emerging. And I want you to state your original goal out loud. Rate how possible it now feels on a scale of 0 to 10. 0 hopeless and 10 totally confident. When you are at an 8 or higher and feel totally confident, no matter of the number, you can proceed. Okay? Move on if there's no negative voice. Even if the number is not as high, move on with the positive voice that is coming to you. So if you are struggling and you're in a place where this needs a little bit more work, this is where you contact me. And we will take you through another process that is going to release that memory for you entirely. So if you're at this point and you're stuck and you've got a memory that is still causing you upset feelings, then that's the time to PM me, send me a message. We'll set up a time. So now, hopefully, we've got new attitudes here, or a new mindset. It's now time to take that and put it in the form of what we call an affirmation. An affirmation is a positive present tense statement that expresses your new belief. It may be the same as your original goal. You can keep that original goal, or it may be something else that you have now worked through that memory and want to really state in words that is going to be cemented into your brain. So it may be an expression of wisdom you received while smelling the oils. That's happened to me before. In fact, the last time I did AFT, I started out with a goal and ended up with something entirely different. I started out with a specific goal, and in the end, my affirmation became one of I'm claiming all of my energy back and my power to succeed. That I had such a powerful release and such a powerful memory. So look at your goal. If that feels great, write that down. If you want to write another one, remember we are doing this as if it has already happened. And put a date on there or a time if you possibly can. So you can also say to yourself, what does the positive voice say now about how you feel or how you can reach a goal? What might that affirmation statement be? So now, looking at what you've written down, whether it's the first statement or you've got a new affirmation, I'm sorry, my dog is howling in the background. We are going to say that affirmation and we're going to smell an uplifting oil while standing in a power pose. Power poses are used to anchor in the new mindset. Power poses are shown to increase confidence and a sense of empowerment. So, a power pose that I like is the V formation. Stand with your feet in the V and stand up. And this is what I call this my power pose. You can also put your hands on your hips and stand like Superwoman, or you may feel it may be a heartfelt and you may feel to put your hands over your heart. But you can take whichever power pose feels. You may invent your own. You may just want to put out your hands and ask to receive. But whatever you do, we're going to do that with the new oil. Now, the oil here will be transformation or believe, one of those, or citrus fresh. What I want you to do is to take that oil, put it in your hands, rub it clockwise. We're going to get up into the pose, then we're going to smell the oil, and then we're going to say our affirmation loudly at least 3 times. Then I want you to come back, smell the oil, and go again. You may feel at this point you want to change pose, that's fine, but I generally go back to the same pose. You can try all 3 poses and find which one feels the strongest for you, but I want you to say this affirmation while smelling the oil. Smell the oil, go into your power pose, say your affirmation, and no, it's not woo-woo, it actually works. This stuff works. And stand in your power pose and repeat this for a minute or 2 until you embody the energy of the affirmation with conviction and confidence. So I want you to be extremely confident while you're doing this. So now you're going to do this affirmation for 2 minutes, 2 times a day for at least 3 days. And it's really, really good it's more amplified if you can do this in front of a mirror. So this is going to trigger a really positive mental state. Also, use the same oil that you use today to reinforce your new belief. Listen for your inner guidance to tell you what your next step is. Write some ideas down, things that you can do towards reaching your goal, including your affirmations twice a day. I like to write down 3 action steps that I'm going to do so that over the next 3 days or a week or as long as you want that you'll take doing the power pose to get this cemented in. I also want you to take some actions. So you write down some actions. Some of mine were to do with work. Some of them were personal. Get moving again. Get up, get some endorphins. But take some action for the next 3 days. Lastly, I want you to follow up. I won't be able to follow up with you at this point, but if we were doing this in person, I would follow up with you for the next 3 days. So you need to be accountable to yourself and write this down and see and write down what happens, what is happening, how you're thinking, how you're feeling, and feel free to put it in the group and say, I did AFT and this is what has happened for me. So thank you for being part of this. I'm so sorry, my doggy is awfully upset. He's done a mum's doing something, so I've thrown my ball under the stove and I'm not going to stop until I go and get it. So have a wonderful time with doing this. Please feel free to do this as often as you like. You can do this 2 times a day if you need to. If you are stuck and you feel like you're not getting anywhere, please PM me. And I want to see all the miracles and breakthroughs written in the group. So bye for now. Thank you for listening. And I know this is going to be empowering for you.